What's going on, guys? This is Joey Young coming at you with another update on the 125. Before I get started, we wanted to mention Green Pleco is generous enough to sponsor my 1,500 subscriber contest. We have about a week left before we do the drawing, so if you guys still are interested in entering, please follow the link below or the link above here, and I'll give you the contest rules and how to enter. It's pretty easy, so make sure you guys enter if you guys want to win one of these cool little plushes. Alright, so I'm just going to break up the tank by half segments because doing the whole shot of the tank, I can do that, but the thing is you can't really see some of these fishes, some of these plants up close. So I'm going to kind of do different angles, different shots for you guys this time, and kind of explain what's going on and the general gist of the tank. So I guess you don't really see any fish right here, but pretty much the same fish. Decided, like I mentioned in the previous video, decided to keep the two blue diamonds, so there's one of them right here. They are now a pair for sure. They tried to lay eggs in the back here next to this heater that I have back here twice, and of course after like the fourth day or something they eat them. If I do start up that breeding project again, I'll probably try the blue diamond pair, see how they work out. If not, I can always go back to my original pair to try to test that, or try to get some fry. But right now I don't have that much tank. I don't have any extra room, even if I actually have wigglers and all that. So right now I'm not planning to do that, but maybe in the future that might change. So in terms of fish, that's pretty much it. I did lose two fish, and not in terms of death, but like I mentioned, I was getting a couple of them to restock my dad's tank. He ended up having like maybe only 5 discus, and it was just kind of restocking for his tank. And so 2 of the little ones in here was a wild cross, and the other one was, I think, it was 2 red ones, the little versions, and I gave them to my dad because he likes to grow them out from juvenile, so I gave those to him. So let's talk a little bit about plants. I'll mention some other fish or whatever down here once we kind of pan over there, but yeah, so this is probably the cleanest that you guys ever seen this tank. Normally it's either I stirred up the tank or I've planted new plants and like the dirt is just all mixed up, and also I generally don't wipe my tank, so there's always like water residue here and there. But yeah, so today I did a water change. It's kind of off schedule because I'm expecting a few people over the weekend, and I probably won't have time to do my normal water change, so I did it a couple of days earlier. And probably, once I get back into the groove of things, I'll probably do a partial water change midway and then kind of go back to the normal 50%. But anyways, but yeah, so I cleaned the glass. I actually wiped it down, so it's super clean, and the lights are like really clean because on top, the glass up top, it's usually caked with some sort of residue or some sort of algae that blocks the light, so the light doesn't really fully penetrate the tank. But yeah, like right now it's like really good. But as you can see, the plants are kind of growing back in. I've been doing a lot of like just trimming and just obviously selling these plants, but yeah, so things are looking good. On the far right here I have a couple new ones that aren't really growing too well. I don't really like the way it looks. I might get rid of them. I'm not sure. It's a Ludwigia species. It doesn't look like they're growing too well, and they're kind of pretty bulky. You have to kind of put them far apart. I have 2 new ones that I'm trying out. These are Kimberleys. They're Pogo something stigma, whatever. I forget their full name, but it's a new species of plant. Not many people carry them, but they look kind of bulky too. But I'm just gonna see how they look, and if I do like them, I'll probably continue to grow them and kind of get rid of the the bonsais in the back here. I actually transitioned the bonsais from here across over there. These bonsais aren't looking too hot just because I've been kind of plucking them, pulling them, etc., etc. So they're not looking too happy. These Toninas are looking fabulous. These plants, I don't know if you guys ever tried these plants before. They look amazing, but the only thing is with these plants, the bottom stem, I don't know if like you guys have the same issue, but the bottom stem always like loses leaves and gets really thin, and you always have to kind of continue to trim them and replant them to kind of keep that green lush. And as you can see, they're doing really well in terms of height, but I recently trimmed them, so that's why they look so good. And there's the blue diamond back there, and that's the male, where it's like super dark. You don't really see blue diamonds that dark, by the way, in terms of like the color. It's a deep blue gene that Kenny slash Forrest, the breeder, kind of bred into that for the blue diamonds, and they look amazing. Alright, so here's the middle of the tank. I didn't really change anything. This right here, don't worry about that. Those are some, I forget what those plants are. Some Belem plant. Anyways, I'm trying to get rid of them. Once they sell, I'm just going to get that bunch away. But anyways, plants hasn't moved. What I did here was these plants. So what happens is when you trim them frequently and kind of too often, they kind of lose, like, I guess, their stem. Every time you cut them, they grow 2 new ones, and that stem kind of gets weaker over time. And what I did was I removed all the stems that were trimmed at one point and took the top and just replanted everything. So that's why all of them were so short, is because I removed all the ones that were kind of like old and just kind of dead. So slowly they'll grow back. This right side is going to grow a little bit faster just because the light's a little bit better here. And I have a brace that goes in the middle here that kind of blocks most of the light. But these plants do very well in kind of low light as well, so I don't have a problem growing those guys out. Alright, so on to the last section of the tank. The far left, I am growing some new species of plants. Again, I forget what these are called. It's brand new to US. They look very similar to a lot of these other plants that you see, but apparently they vary a little bit and they become different. I forget what the actual name is. It's some long like name, but it looks like, I'm able to grow them pretty well. So we'll see what happens and how they look. The biggest one I have back here is that one back there. It looks pretty cool. A lot of tornadoes are here, or curly, Ludwigia Curlies. I've actually had probably like 10 stems that I sold, and I ended up trimming a bunch and kind of tossing the bottom piece, but this is what is left over. So I still have like plenty more. I'm hopefully going to grow them back. They grow super fast for me, way too fast for me. And they look really nice. Probably maybe a couple months, about a year ago, when I actually tried these plants, I kind of struggled in this tank specifically, just probably because of the temperature. A lot of these plants, one thing about planted tanks with Discus is a lot of these plants, they don't like the temperature. So it's kind of another challenge for hobbyists to kind of make these plants adapt to the temperature. And normally what happens is, a couple stems won't make it when you either buy them or transition them, but the ones that do make it, they build resistance and they kind of get used to your parameters, and slowly the next generations and the splits and the trims of those do very well. So after like many generations of trying these Ludwigia, they finally grew really nicely for this tank. I don't know if you guys remember, but a while back when I had a 25-gallon with the Discus pair, it was a planted tank, but now it's a nano reef. But I had these curlies in there. They were growing really well in there, and I took those generation of plants and stems and grew them in this tank, and they've been flourishing very nicely. I think there's a couple videos back, but I was telling about this red one that I really like. This is a rosy or super rose red, I guess, Discus, but with the blue halo that you can see in certain angles or certain like part of the light, and you can kind of see it pretty clear. It looks kind of more black, but when it turns a certain angle and it hits a certain light, so you can kind of see it being really blue instead, and it looks really nice and pretty. Anyways, let's see what else is new in terms of this tank. A bunch of plants that are floating were my old japonicas that I'm trying to get rid of. So if you guys are interested in a bunch of smaller japonicas, I am selling those. This other side here is my Cuba, Ludwigia Cuba, that I've been growing. They kind of look like a little deadish because I ended up moving a lot of the plants around, and I actually had to trim a lot because they were kind of overshadowing a lot of these other plants and they weren't getting enough light. But now, like, as you can see, it's like bright as heck. It hits like all the way to the bottom, so everything is getting light now, which is good. Nothing's getting blocked, and stuff should start to grow. But yeah, that's generally it for the plant. Nothing, obviously, you know, crazy or new, but the fish are doing well, and the plants are doing okay for the most part. they'll grow in, so I'm not too concerned. Let me see if you guys can see some of these plecos. They're all in the back. My Go Nugget plecos back behind this bush, but you guys probably won't be able to see them. But yeah, finally those plecos and stuff are doing pretty good, so I'm pretty happy. Tank's looking awesome. Let me kind of pan out real quick. Pretty much kind of made that video way too long, but yeah, general updates, nothing really going on with the tank. Stable, growing new plants, fish are looking good. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. You guys have any questions about the tank or plants or whatever in general, always leave a comment below, and make sure you guys enter that contest if you guys want a chance to win that awesome Pleco, sponsored by Green Pleco. But anyways, peace guys.